Hello, you're back here with Miss Libby Rose and I'm on the pink sewing bus. Had a little bit of a break this afternoon. Elliot's been on his afternoon walk, had a nice relax, bit of lunch. Now I'm back here and ready to talk to you some more. So now I'd like to talk to you about some of the other classes that I am doing at the Great British Sewing Bee live event in September, which I can't wait for. So in my Facebook live video I was talking about the reversible tote bag. So that was, if you missed that video, then do go and check it out. It's on Facebook and I think there's probably a link and things here as well. But that was the tote bag, and we were talking about all applique, and I went through some applique things on the Facebook. So so that's one of the classes, and that's a real across the board class to do. That's for beginners or for intermediates or advanced. Just it's a real fun class to do. And then you can adapt it to suit you, so you take the pattern away and you can sort of crack on and do what you like with it. So, and that was my little bunny from earlier, if you're interested in checking out my applique. Now I want to talk to you about my pattern hack classes. Because my background is fashion, I posted up some pictures of my my past, my fashion design. So there was the wiggle skirt, which I was quite famous for. Lots of people had a wiggle skirt, and they're beautiful. I still have some. Yes, that's a beautiful skirt that I designed. So I come from a background of pattern cutting, of designing, of making it all. But I used to, when I was young, I would always buy patterns and from the shops and rejig them and make them my own. I didn't know that it was pattern hacking when I was young, but now, you know, now I think it's got a lot more trendy to do things like that. And I think people aren't as afraid as we used to be, you know, not afraid to sort of mess about with patterns and say, okay, well, I've made it that way for the first time. Now, what if I change it a bit, you know, and make it into your own style? And I think that that is fantastic. And particularly, I do like simplicity patterns for that. Now, they are, I just really like the the straightforward way that simplicity do their patterns. So I've chosen two simple-ish designs from them to do these classes for the Sewing Bee live event. So you've got a kid's dress and an adult's dress. Now this is so this is from a 1960s pattern that they've just redone as a modern pattern now. And so what I'm looking at doing is it's fairly straightforward to make the dress. There is this sort of long dart down the middle, which is quite interesting and something you could also play with. But what I was looking at is different things that you could add and perhaps, you know, restyle it yourself. So I've done one already. Already, actually, it's August, so I should have probably done a few by now. But anyway, I'll have the time. It'll be fine. I'll get more done, I think. So what I've created on the back here, so the back detail, they have got a belt on one of the back details on here. I'm sorry, I don't think you can really see it that much, but they have got a back detail, but obviously not to this sort of style. So I have put a back belt on there, but then I've done one of my bows that I do love a bow. I think I've always loved a bow, but this has then I've used some decorative stitching, which again I go back to the machine, the Janome machine that we will be using at the event. So in the workshops we are using the CXL301 Janomes, so you can do some lovely decoratives on there. So a good idea would be to just pop a bow on the back. I also put an exposed zip down the back as well, so it's quite funky to have exposed zips, I think, and that is super long, and then it just goes straight into a split. Sorry, I couldn't have a full mannequin in here The bus is quite a small space. I love it, but it is quite a small space. So it can unzip and come straight off that way, but you don't have to. You can just unzip it like a normal zip. But it's quite funky to have a open-ended, big, chunky zip in the back just on a dress. It's sort of mixing it up a little bit. Then also, I mean, you don't have to, of course, if you come on the class, or if you just choose to do this at home, I always think, don't throw, just because you can, don't throw everything into a design. I know, because I've done it in the past where I'm just like, oh, I could do this and that, and you throw it all in and you kind of, oh, the design is a bit overwhelming. Spread it out a bit. Just because you can doesn't mean that you have to put it all on the same outfit. But I've tried to throw in as many things as I can. So then I've put a little pocket on here, and I put sunshine in my pocket. I've done some embroidery on there as well, and I'll bring some embroidery pockets along with me, just with some fun slogans on there. And I think that's quite cool, like sunshine in my pocket just reminds you of a nicer time when the sun's shining. Like today here in Greenwich, the sun is shining beautifully, but it hasn't been that way all the time this August at all. So you know, doing something quirky like that with a pocket, or a pocket on sometimes a breast pocket's quite cool as well. So pattern hacking, yeah, it's quite a fun thing to do. And there will be some more ideas that I'll come up with. Oh yes, that's right, little Peter Pan collar as well. Now I haven't popped it on here, simply the fact that I'm going to remake the dress and put a little Peter Pan collar on onto another one. But that can be, because this is just got a facing that folds in, we could slide in a little collar into there as well, which would be quite nice. Depending on the fabrics that you're using, you could put a little, like one of those lace ones as well, which is quite lovely. But I think on this style, a nice little Peter Pan collar would be lovely. So that is for the workshop that I'm doing with Simplicity 1252, this 60s dress that they've brought up to a modern day pattern, which is quite a fun one. Or the kids dress as well, so similar sort of style, but this one is kids, and we're going to play around with the appliques here as well. So again, like I've spoken about appliques on the Facebook Live, we'll get some different designs together. We'll look at sort of how you attach different ribbons and bias bindings and things like that, and just have a play with the different styles that you could create for kids dresses. So you could use this one pattern to sort of keep going and create different designs by using this quite simple, you know, I say simple, but you know, nothing's totally simple, of course. There is some skills to it that we learn, and that we learn along as we go. But you know, we could add different appliques, look at different lengths, look at the way that we could reshape the pattern. So using this as your base, and then we can go on from there. So that's two of my pattern hacks that I am doing as part of my workshops at the Great British Sewing Bee Live in September, that I'm looking forward to. And I can't wait, and I can't wait to see you all there as well, because I know you're all coming and it's going to be fab. So oh, and meet all the lovely people that have been on the programme, and yeah, I think it's going to be lots of fun. So I can't wait to see you there. And if you need to, you can message me. So I'm at Miss Libby Rose on Facebook, at Miss Libby Rose on Twitter. Here is Miss_Libby_Rose, but I think it's linked into a lot of these anyway. So you can find me. You can feel free, ask me whatever you need to in advance. If you're coming on some of my workshops, do sort of feel free to pick my brains and ask me questions as much as you like. And yes, and as always, I'm on the Pink Sewing Bus, so that as well has got its Twitter page at Pink Sewing Bus, and Facebook at Pink Sewing Bus. So I try and keep things as simple as possible so you can find me easily. But yeah, I do travel around in this bus. I'm off to Bristol tomorrow in the morning. So I've got 2 days in Bristol working with my Hobbycraft pals there. So I'm at Bristol Imperial and Bristol. So if you're in the area, you can probably still book on a workshop. I do workshops all throughout the day, but yeah, you probably still could come along, or just if you live in Bristol and just come past, say hi, give me some love. Fantastic. All right, so I will be back again soon, doing another live and talking about some more sewing things. So I will see you very soon. Bye for now.